Everyone, it's KIREI here for Hey Little Magpie, and I am using the really colourful Simple Stories Colour Me Happy collection, and it certainly does make me happy. I am also using the Hey Little Magpie A5 stencil, the one that's called Confetti Triangles. So, when I saw this collection, I just knew the photos that I could use to go with it. They've been sat on a list waiting to be scrapped, just waiting for the perfect collection to come along. And these photos are from a trip last year to Ghent. We went for a few days with mum and dad when they were over visiting from Australia, and we had a fabulous time. Weather was glorious, and we were wandering around, and we came across Graffiti Street, and it literally is like it's a bit like an alley, really. And it is covered in graffiti, but the artwork is always changing because people, come and go, and it's constantly being painted over and all sorts of things. So there's all sorts of fabulous artwork, and yeah, it was just really colourful. So this collection was perfect. Anyway, I have 8 photos that I pulled out. I'm doing them as 2 photo strips, and that I've mounted those onto the pattern paper. It's the orange one that is called All About It. And then I am using 2 other pattern papers. The yellow one is called Heck Yes, and then the black one and the pink one, that's both sides, is called The Details. And I'm going for a vertical design here. So I'm just layering up a number of the patterns, the 3 pattern strips behind my photo strips. And then I'm going to add, obviously, all my embellishment clusters and all the fun bits. So now this is one of the cardstock stickers, and I was going to use it, and I've just de-sticked it. So I've taken, because I do like to curve up my stickers and everything like that. So I take away the stick before I do anything with it. But actually, I didn't end up using it in the end, because I've pulled out the All About It, which is the circles paper here. The orange is on the other side of it, and I've decided to cut the sort of scalloped edge along, and I'm going to add that on scalloped edge on both sides of my vertical design. So I'm just sort of trimming around the scallops here, and I will, of course, distress the edges. And yeah, I'm going to add that in as a bit of detail. So all my pieces are now distressed, including my photo strips. You can see my scalloped pieces on the left there. And I've also pulled out there's quite a few scalloped strips in the ephemera pack. So I've pulled out all of those as well, so that I can work with those when I get everything, this part sort of, worked out. Anyway, I'm now adding some stenciling detail to the background. So I'm using one of the exclusive Hey Little Magpie. This is the A5 stencil it's called Confetti Triangles. And I'm just using it with Distress Oxides. I'm going with the Pick Raspberry and the Twisted Citron. So sort of going for, I've obviously got the pattern paper in this yellow on the left and then the pink on the right. And I'm just using the inks in the opposite colours, as you can see. So I have to say, the Twisted Citron didn't come out as bright as I wanted. I did go back over it, actually, and just add a little bit more detail. But yeah, it works out actually all right. So I just wanted to make sure that I had my strips and where I was stenciling so that I don't end up covering all of it, as typically I do. I definitely wanted to make sure I had some of that stenciling popping out from either side. Then I'm just adding some splatters to both sides as well. And now that that's all dry, I can get my strips stuck down. So I'm just sticking them together at the moment, and then I can move them around to where I want them to go. And I do spend a bit of time fiddling around with these strips, to be completely fair, making sure that they're straight, because they've got the lines on them aren't completely straight. I felt like I was making them wonky. Anyway, right, photo strips, both raised up on foam pads, totally. And then I can add, and then I can lay my embellishment clusters around those. But I like the dimension that gets. Because it's a photo strip, just adding foam pads at the top is fine, but they sort of flatten in the middle. So yeah, I find that actually adding a foam strip all the way along works better for me. Okay, so I think I'm sort of happy with where I'm at here. I've got my scalloped pieces that I'm going to add on each side. But I think next what I'm going to do, here we go, I've added some stitching details. So now I've brought in the other little ephemera scallop strips as well. I've worked out where they need to sit once I've got my photo strips on, and I've just added some stitching, regular stitching, and then some zigzag as well for some interest. But I did it in black because I've got that black pattern paper, and I just wanted to bring in a bit more black because I do have black in the title. So I just wanted to enhance, just add a few more pops of black. So the stitching does that for me. Right, and then I can get my photo strip stuck down. Oh, you can see I did add a little scallop strip to that right photo strip there as well. I stitched that on this side. Okay, I had to stop because I had to refill my ATG gun, but anyway, everything's now stuck down and I can get to work on adding all of my embellishment clusters. So I'm working with the two on either side here, and I've got the ephemera pack, the bits and pieces they call it, and I'm just pulling out the things that I think work best with my photos. I've got cameras, I've got some light bulbs, I've got like an artist palette. There is it's like a dartboard at the top. I've got a, I can't even think the word for what they call them, the little banner there. Rosette, thank you, Rosette, and it says "cool" on it. So it all sort of, that for me related really well to the cool artwork that we were, the photos are. So still playing around here, just deciding which bits are going to go where, and whether I add foam pads to some of them, which I will do to get that nice dimension that I always love. So just getting these pieces stuck down, and then I can work on getting my title on and getting those finishing details. You'll see when I'm sticking things down, I do just add that little bit of glue in the center, and then I can sort of curve up those edges. And then more foam pads again, getting a bit more layering there. Obviously, if you're watching the video and you're thinking, I can't print small photos, I don't have any, you can absolutely adapt something like this. You could go with two portrait photos, just sit them slightly off center below each, above each other. You could use landscape photos and just extend your design, your background design if you wanted. So there are ways to adapt it. So don't feel like, I couldn't do this because I don't have small photos, but that's absolutely fine. You could definitely use the large ones. Okay, I've now got the foam stickers, and they've got some fab words on here. So I was definitely going to use that for my title, though I did consider using those Bella Boulevard ones there as well. I wasn't completely sure, but no, I went back to the foam stickers, and I'm going to use the happy with the memories in the black, which I love. I love that pop of black. And then I've got some of the little word stickers here and phrases. I've got the cherries. I'm thinking I'm going to add those for a little pop of pink over that side. Yep, I did finally get it stuck down. And then I felt like I needed something else to balance it because I've only got two clusters, and I really like to work with three where I can, because that's that sort of design rule of three. The triangle draws the eye in. So I've got the scalloped strip on the side there, and then I'm going to bring my phrase strips just over there on the right. I've raised one of them on foam pads, and I've got "what a colourful life, how cool, and stay bright." So yeah, I thought they worked really well with my graffiti photos, and I've got the little pop of black in. And then I suddenly decide, and I take off, I think, the top one. Yes, I've taken that off because I'm off to stitch it. I'm just going to add a little bit of black stitching down on the right because I felt like I needed to mirror what I was using on the main body of the layout. So I've got the black stitching down there, stuck that back on, and yeah, so now I can just pull through the threads and stick those down at the back. I mean, in some cases you could just leave the threads hanging out the front if you want something that's a little bit more distressed and grungy, but I do tend to pull my threads through. And then I've got the coordinating enamel dots, and I'm just going to add a few little clusters of three around the top there, next to the other cluster, and then down at the bottom right as well. I've added, obviously, some lines for my journaling, which I'll add off camera. So yeah, I love how this came together. It definitely was a great collection for my colourful photos. So yeah, almost done then, and I think the close-up is coming in just a moment. Here we go. And then you'll see all the detail images following. So I hope you've enjoyed the process video and get some inspiration for using this fabulous collection, Simple Stories Colour Me Happy. Find all the details over on heylittlemagpie.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.